Let's go.
Wow. The greatest World Series of all time. I don't give a crap what you say, Austin. It's not one of. It is the best, greatest World Series of all time. It's incredible. We have the best cast of all time ready to go. I'm not going to lie. I was pouting and moaning and bitching all night long. I thought the Dodgers were going to lose. Every second of the night, you guys are my testament. I don't give a shit who starts. Somebody start talking.
Coach Bearcoff's video got us quoted. I was like you, Case. I'm Mr. Negativity. I'm like, we can't hit, we pop up, we can't do crap. We're not going to win. Coach Bearcoff, our motivator, the basketball coach, Coach Bearcoff, brought us all back, reeled us all back in the video, and they must have heard it in Toronto, so we got it done. Good job, Coach B.
How about the fact that the Dodgers used every part of the roster? I mean, Andy Pages, you talk about Kike Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, Will Klein, Emmett Sheehan, Coach Bearcoff. I talk all the time. The Dodgers, yes, they have superstars, but it wasn't the superstars necessarily other than Yamamoto. They won tonight on the margins. Again, the Miguel Rojases, the Will Kleins, guys like that. The Andy Pages is coming back in. The Dodgers are great in that scenario. How about the way that Dave was able to use his entire roster?
All right, I'll jump in before all you experts. What in the world happened? It was Kike and Pages, my two favorite players, decided to come together and make my heart about fall off the bed. And listen, I don't care what you guys say tonight, back to back. And I can't wait for Ice Cube to do what he does in Dodger Stadium. Bye, fellas. You're right, Case.
Austin, incredible game. I don't even know what I just saw. We'll get into some of the game. Probably, maybe, I don't know. We'll get into the series. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But what are your initial thoughts?
Dude, what just happened in that game? That was one of the greatest games and most unbelievable, crazy things I have ever experienced in my entire life. I don't know how to fully comprehend every single thing because this entire series had just about every single thing. Just when you think you knew what was going to happen next, the complete opposite seemed to have happened. And guess what? After all of that, after all of the struggle, after everything, the Los Angeles Dodgers are sitting back on top of baseball. They are the 2025 World Series champions. The first team in 25 years to go back-to-back is the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the dynasty of Dodgers baseball is upon us.
Coach, I saw you throw Jeff Ventress back-to-back days, about 200 pitches apiece, when it was about 500 degrees and we're trying to win a state title. It was probably child abuse back then in 1989, right? I think besides the Vinny outing, right? I think what Yamamoto – I don't even know what I just saw in today's day and age. And hell, 6 months ago, I was bitching at Yamamoto because he wouldn't take the ball like on the fifth day. He had to have 6 days rest. I'm not sure that I've ever seen more courage from a pitcher just to say – you know, and our narrative on Yamamoto then was he needs to have the mentality of just give me the damn ball. I don't care when it is. I'm not sure I've ever seen what he just did in the length that he gave.
No, he gave him – it was amazing the length he was able to give because I think Hershiser did some. Coach B probably remembers this better than I did. Hershiser did some in 88, and I think he might have come out of the – seemed like he pitched every damn game, so he might have come out of the pen some then. Madison Bumgarner, I'm not a Giants fan. I got a lot of respect for that crazy guy. He did a lot of stuff there. But in this situation in the World Series, I've never seen one in Game 7. Might have had Schilling out there with his ankle he's bleeding to death out of his ankle, that one year. But, as far as the Dodgers and what Yamamoto did, what we had talked about with him, it was amazing. I mean, he could have kept going, too. And the fact I liked, he was ready. I mean, the other night he was warming up. They didn't have to bring him in, but 96 pitches last night, no hesitation to come in out. I didn't think you look after they got Kershaw warming up and I guess Sasaki, they were the last two they had going up out there. And Yamamoto's like, no, I got this. I'm fixing to break. I love that Kirk kid, a sawed-off catcher, old school, man. I love that kid.
I especially love his last at-bat. His last at-bat was my favorite.
That's a hell of a pitch. And it goes roller to Mookie for an unassisted there to say, oh, no, it's perfect. The perfect play, yes. Yamamoto is amazing what he did. And the Dodgers, they had to have it. End of story. I will say this. I'll make one comment about Robo. You guys need to talk. I need to shut up. Me and Casey saw Robo pitch here at Stillwater, Oklahoma. when Jim Jimenez stuck his hand out there the pitch before that trying to get hit, Case, you know what Coach Holt says. You want to get hit that damn bad, I'll hit you. But I thought Robo really stuck it to him. Then the replay,
doubt.
he didn't stick it to him.
And you know what Robo did after that? Robo said, screw you guys.
Yeah, he said, kiss my ass. That's exactly what he said. He just left his hand sit there and got hit and then wanted to act like a tough guy. He stuck it after like that the pitch before. You know what Coach Holt always said, you want to get hit that bad, we'll hit you. Stand right there for a minute. I know that's old school, Coach Barakoff. Nobody does that anymore. It's not old school.
That's how Robo operates, Coach.
I promise you. And he let him know it. I loved it. Robo gave us good outing. Great job.
Jimenez doesn't realize it, Coach Barakoff, but the second that he acted like a complete jackass with Robo hitting him like that was the worst thing that he could have done for his team, because at that moment, Robo went, yeah, that's nice right there. That's beautiful.
Hey, listen,
that's
guys,
absolutely fantastic.
I got my brother, who's a diehard Dodger fan.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All
Listen.
right.
I texted my brother when Bichette hit that home run. I said, that's a World Series magic moment. And my brother just basically said, screw that. That's not the magic moment.
He called it.
Listen, he's a diehard Dodgers Daily fan.
Pretty
loves the
excited
Dodgers.
right now.
He's got his son, Rowan. Casey's his guy.
All right. Fantastic.
Okay. All right. I'm going to listen, guys.
The Blue Jays are awesome, Coach Barakoff. They're awesome.
I'm about to cry. Austin, you're a young gun. Coach Holt, Case, 51 years, man. 81, 88, 2020, this one and this one, man. I don't have any words right now. I have no words what just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk all what we want. I have never seen a team that could not hit, that
didn't have a bullpen,
came up with a way to win this game tonight against a team that had all the momentum. And we didn't look good tonight.
Nope.
But Will Smith and then Miggy Rowe and Pages running into my two favorite players running into each other. That's Dodger Daily. It's just Dodger Daily magic that my two favorite players, Kike and Pages, run into each other. And then Yamamoto, what did he have? He could have thrown 200 pitches in 2 days.
Yes, he could.
Snell was great. Glasnow. Guys, back-to-back world champions. I have no words. I'm crying. Awesome. Tears are I don't even know what to say.
I'll say this, okay, and I'm trying to make myself not quite so tall. Not doing a very good job of Austin. Back to the Robo. Hey, Robo has a FU mentality. That's why we like him. And Jimenez didn't realize it, but when he acted like a complete dumbass, like Robo's trying to hit him right there, right? All that did was screw his team, because as soon as he did that, Robo went into ultra. Hey, how about screw you? How about screw him? How about screw everybody? Get your ass down to first base. You get your ass in there at home plate, and all of y'all suckers are out. I mean, that's the mode that Robo went into.
Oh, that's his entire attitude when he's on the mound. He knows that he is good, and he knows that he's going to get you out. Now, with that specific plate appearances, he is not trying to hit Andres Jimenez. Andres Jimenez is the 9-hitter on the Blue Jays. He doesn't do that well, and particularly against left-handed pitching. That's not the guy that he's trying to go out there and hit to get up to George Springer. So then when he was drawing back and forth with Robo, he's like, what are you talking about? And it's that screw you mentality that Robo goes out there. But he was phenomenal during these past couple of games when the Dodgers bullpen was searching to try to find some answers, and they ended up turning to this game to a majority to their starters, which does include a guy like a Robleski, who has been mostly a starter coming up throughout his career. That attitude that he has, he stepped up in a big moment yesterday and during the game today to try to cool things down after, as Coach Barakoff had mentioned, that home run by Bichette. Look, having that crooked number early for the Blue Jays felt like that could have been a death blow. I think we all felt that was a 10-run deficit instead of just a 3-run deficit. That was massive. So to be able to go and have something to just say, hey, we're still in this. We're not going to back down and fight. We're going to continue to go out there and continue to fight in this game. Robleski showed that attitude, and the Dodgers throughout this game were able to find a way to be able to fight and continue to have that attitude throughout. It was unbelievable what he did. I think that was the start of a mentality, and you saw this Dodgers team, when everything else seemed to be going wrong, find a way to scratch and claw, and the unlikeliest of heroes were some of the ones that stepped up during the game today.
Coach, I got to say, I would have left Yamamoto in an inning more last night. I probably would have taken Ohtani out an inning earlier. I think those are probably tactical errors by Dave there. Beyond that, Coach Holt, I got to say, you don't, as good as this roster is, you don't get the contributions from what you've got. Tyler Glasnow, Jack Dreyer, Edgardo Henriquez came through one time with a couple innings. Clayton Kershaw got out of the big 11th inning. Will Klein, we know about that. Sasaki, Emmett Sheehan came up big. Blake Snell came up big tonight. Robo came up here. Yamamoto, obviously. Shohei, Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Tommy. Everybody on your roster contributed at some point, and you don't win a World Series like this against a team. Toronto's great. There's no doubt. But they're also very hot. They're like at the peak of their game right now. This is as good as Toronto can play. The version of the team that the Dodgers put on the field right now doesn't beat a Toronto team if your manager isn't almost completely spot on all the way through, and Dave was.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, like you said, we can talk about the snowball effect back, when they used all those pitches, the 18-inning game, how you use those guys. You don't have those guys able to do what they did tonight if they're all spent during that time. And like you said, it's kind of like when we threw the bullpen game against San Diego last year. Wasn't because we wanted to, it's because we had to. Same thing you had tonight. He had no choice. The starters were coming again. They were ready to roll. You're absolutely correct. Think about everybody. Okay, you take Pages out because he can't hit. You got Mickey Rowe in there. He hits a home run to tie the freaking game. You got to bring Pages in, and he did a great impersonation of Coach Barakoff's rebounding drill, going above Kike because he's taller than Kike. Thank God he went above Kike and took the damn thing away from him, Coach, and made a great play right there. So, there's so much. It's almost like every string. They even said it on the broadcast, but we know it because we watch almost every game. I know Coach Barakoff's probably seen every game. Dave was pulling all the right strings. He was going to a lot. I promise you that wasn't all analytics. A lot of that was like, the hell with that. I want that guy out there. Kind of like what he did last year with Trinan. Put his hands on his chest. You're my guy. To hell with what the paperwork says. But he pulled all the right strings. But everybody's involved. It's amazing. Who would have thought Mickey Rowe? Ask anybody on the face of the earth. Is Mickey Rowe going to hit a home run to 7th game World Series tied up? Hell no. He's not even playing. What are you talking about? He's not even going to be in there. That's what we're talking about. The contributions of everybody. That's with your manager who is. Hey, next man up. We always talked about that. The next man up. We talked about this case. We were down 3-2. The part you can't forget about the Dodgers, the last 2 years they've been under stress the entire regular season and in the playoffs. This wasn't anything new for them. That's why we've talked about we wouldn't have been shocked if Toronto would have went ahead and won because they were playing hot and they were a really good team with a good manager. Also wouldn't be shocked if the Dodgers won 2 in a row on the road because they know how to handle that adversity.
Mm-hmm. Hey, guys. This is where Dave Roberts is so undervalued. He made a gut decision and played Mickey Rowe. Mickey Rowe's that play from when they grounded out and he threw to Will Smith to get him out at the home plate with Will Smith, the home run, the play in Game 6 from Kike to scoop that thing up on a one bounce. Mickey Rowe was spectacular for 2 games, and he hadn't had a home run since September.
Yep.
It just tells you these Dodger fans don't know what they're talking about when it comes down to Dave Roberts. Yeah. He went with a gut. He went with this is my guy. I needed to bring some energy, and Mickey Rowe brought it. Now, it's easy to say that now because it's at the end of the game we saw what happened, but what a great decision by Dave Roberts. Mickey Rowe was involved in some spectacular moments in 2 games in the World Series, in regard to the greatest World Series ever played. Mickey Rowe was involved.
I mean, you have 4 Hall of Famers. You have the greatest player ever to play. You have two extra inning games. One of them is Game 7. Another is an 18-inning game. I mean, I don't know how you could get any better than what you saw. You had Yamamoto do what he did. You had the road team win the last 2 games in dramatic fashion. Austin, I don't honestly know how the Dodgers did this. I mean, they were terrible offensively from a analytical perspective, Everything that needed to happen for Toronto to win this series happened. Everything that needed to happen for the Dodgers to lose happened, and the Dodgers still won. How'd that happen, Austin?
And they still won. That is the thing that is so amazing. First off, it's a credit to the Toronto Blue Jays for bringing it to the Dodgers. They were absolutely incredible at this, and they have an absolutely phenomenal team. But it was the Dodgers' resiliency that allowed them to be able to go through. It's the unsung heroes that played such a key role. It's Will Klein stepping up during that 18-inning game and finding a way to be able to compete. Coach Barrikov mentioned Miguel Rojas. There's so many key moments on there. It's that home run that he had during the game today off of Jeff Hoffman, which, by the way, if you look at the career numbers, Miguel Rojas against Jeff Hoffman, he's absolutely unbelievable. Going into that, I think it was 3 for 4 with a walk and a double, had the home run in that moment. He was set up perfectly for that situation. But it's even before that, because the Dodgers throughout the game, even though their offense was struggling, found a way to scratch through and just try to get some runs across. 2 sacrifice flies to get it within 1. And then in the 8th inning, this is going to be completely overlooked because of the Miguel Rojas home run, which obviously is the bigger home run, and Will Smith's home run, bigger than that, was Max Muncy being able to break out of the slump that he was in because
how
the
far
Dodgers
did he hit that ball?
I don't know exactly how far, but it was a long way. But that was so key because they absolutely needed Max Muncy in the series to be able to come through. He gets the game within 1, which that is such a huge difference in this game, being within 1 versus being behind 2. Max Muncy came through, gave the opportunity for Shohei to come up to the plate, but it wasn't Shohei that delivered. It was Miguel Rojas in the 9th inning. And then key defensive plays and key defensive decisions, as you mentioned.
No doubt.
Miguel Rojas at second base being able to throw. I thought for a second that Will Smith's cleat wasn't on home plate, and I thought he was safe for a second. That was unbelievable. Yeah. And then Andy Pages, who came in specifically because of his arm with 1 out and the bases loaded. That's right before the Miguel Rojas play. He is out there, and can we just say Andy Pages, best defensive center fielder in the game of baseball after what he did during that? I mean, there's that. And then Will Smith is absolutely clutch when there is two plate appearances. One, the Miguel Rojas, which I think he did something potentially on that play, which is probably why he wasn't out there at second base. It was Hae-Sung Kim that came in at second base. And then Shohei Ohtani, 1 pitch ground out, all of a sudden 2 outs. And you're thinking, man, they're going to have to continue to fight a way through this game, and this game might be going to 18 innings again. Will Smith is able to hit 1 out. It was the unsung heroes on this team that was able to come through, and it was you got to love the fight of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who made an absolute legend out of himself, not just for what he did in this game, not just what he did in games 2 and game 6, also his willingness to go out there no matter what it costs to win this team a World Series championship. That resiliency was very much implemented throughout the entire DNA of this team, and that's a credit to Dave Roberts, that's a credit to the players, that's a credit to the front office, that's a credit to everybody involved in the Dodgers organization.
It is, Coach. And 2, okay, here's my number 1 biggest complaint about Dave is that he has to go to he likes to go to his guys. We all know it's easy just to go, hey, I've seen that guy do it before. I'm comfortable with him. I'm just going to go with him. How about this, okay? How about this on your bingo card? No Clayton Kershaw, no Blake Trinan, no Anthony Bonda, no any of those guys. Instead, the only 2 actual bullpen arms you're going to throw in Game 7 on the road is Justin Robleski and Emmett Sheehan. How about that for courage from Dave Roberts to say, you know what? I got to go with what's working. I can't stay inside my box. I got to go with what I'm seeing. You got to get, I think that was an underrated. I think that's underrated that Dave came out of his box there. And then 2, I was screaming, do not walk Addison Barger, because I was thinking you're putting the winning run on base. And so give Yoshi credit, give Mark Pryor and Dave credit. They had the foresight to walk Addison Barger to set up the double play that won the game. So two ideas right there I thought were big, Coach Holt.
No, it's unbelievable. Just, again, pulling all the right strings right there. You're talking about Sheehan and Robleski. I think that because recent things they've done have been nails. Robleski's been very good for a while. And in the role he didn't get a whole lot of opportunities, but he did pretty well when he was in there. Same way with Sheehan towards the end of the year. And then, so that's something you go into a game, you've got them. Kershaw wasn't going to come. I mean, he was warming up there at the end. He may have had to come. He had to come in the 18-inning game. But to go in there and knowing your starters are going to have to come out, they're all ready. When Yamamoto says he's ready, everybody's ready because he threw 96 pitches yesterday. So, but Robleski had brought the mentality, the bulldog mentality we all know he has, first of all. But he's pitched well. That isn't all good enough. It's all great to be tougher than hell, but if you can't get anybody out, it doesn't make any difference. Sheehan, same way. So to get these guys to come in and to have that was the plan. I mean, that was a freaking plan he had. I mean, again, this wasn't just – he didn't have to shoot from the hip too much today because not everything went according to plan. You didn't plan on giving up a damn 3-run homer early in the game. So everything wasn't according to plan. It wasn't by the playbook, wasn't by the analytics. So you just had to kind of go and feel on some stuff. But he had an idea, had a plan. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to see when we're going to have to do it, kind of with the flow of the game. I think they talked about Ohtani when he started. We're just going to – there's no pitch count. Go as long as you can, and he wasn't sharp. There wasn't any doubt about it. I mean, you could tell he wasn't sharp. But, that being said, Dave has proven over and over – like I said, he's got his detractors. I've been one of them. But that's that's where our business is. Coach Bearcoff, we know how the coaching business is. Even if you win it all, there's people that are second-guessed you and pissed off because they didn't like you to begin with. So you never worry about that. He's not worried about it. You just got to have guts enough to make those decisions and stick with them. Some, especially in baseball, some of them look like hell. You look like an idiot. Yeah. And some of them you look like a genius. But you just got to have the nuts to go do it. And he does.
Coach, couple things. This Dodgers team, don't ever accuse them not of being tough as hell, because this is one of the toughest teams mentally I've ever seen. Scrappy. They come from behind. They did it in the ultimate stage again. And then also, I think if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, let's get this really squared away. Toronto didn't do anything to lose this game. The Dodgers went out and won this game. Toronto didn't choke. Nobody lost this game. The Dodgers won. What you hate to see is like a team make a mistake and they lose the game and you feel like they lost to the other team win. Toronto didn't lose this game. They didn't choke. The Dodgers won this game. So I think if you're Toronto, the lesson learned here is if you leave a team like the Dodgers with as much talent as they have and as much experience as they have, if you leave them hanging around the game, only down 1 or 2 the whole game, they're going to come back and bite you in the ass. And that's what happened.
Yeah. You guys are saying all I need to say. I don't have anything to say other than I'm watching Dave Roberts give a speech right now about belief coming together. And I think what's being forgotten, Clayton Kershaw goes out as a world champion.
Yep.
And the man's statue is going to be up in Dodger Stadium. And he's going out as a world champion. I've got nothing else to say tonight other than Dave Roberts is the best manager in baseball. I just tweeted about it. All the second guessers out there about our guy, Dave Roberts. He's got to be one of the greatest managers in baseball history, and we're fortunate to have this guy. Mm-hmm. And the second guessers can suck it. Sorry, that's just what I'm saying. I'll get to you positive, but I've been positive with Dave Roberts all year long. Always. He's the best manager in baseball, and today proved it. And you know what? Yeah. Clayton Kershaw is going out as a world champion, and that makes me very happy since 2009. And what that dude's been through. Yep. World champion Clayton Kershaw. Man. Three-time. Yep.
I'll get to here in just a second, Austin. But Coach Holt, you do not get to be as resilient, as scrappy, and as mentally tough as the Dodgers are if you don't have a manager that doesn't have your back. If your manager doesn't have your back and he's always wanting to replace you and he's always ripping your ass, then the second things go bad, you're always looking over your shoulder, right? Yep. So the fact that Dave Roberts has his team back as much as he does, and they know it, that they want to perform for him, and that allows them to be as mentally tough and as scrappy as they have been. So maybe that drives us nuts on June 27th when we feel like he needs to start throwing helmets and bats everywhere and ripping people's ass when the presentation doesn't look great. But overall, that mentality is what has led to the scrappiness we've seen, in my opinion.
Okay, so we talked about this. We all know how this is, being educators, coaches, whatever, parents, whatever the heck you are. Sometimes our strength is our weakness. His strength is that he's got – if I'm a player, this is my guy. My freaking manager has my back no matter what. I've got to play better. I know when he replaces me, it's because I really suck, but that's his strength. He's got my back. And like you said, that can also be a weakness sometimes where you stay with a guy too long. I think he even admitted that on Pages there. He probably – I don't know, I haven't heard him admit it, maybe on Conforto. But whatever, here in the playoffs, he admitted on Pages and took him out. So he had to make that call. But so that is a strength and a weakness, but that's not a bad trait. if I was a player, that's the guy I want to play for. No doubt about it. Run through the damn wall for him. You know, as a fan and a guy sitting out here watching the games, hoping we'll go 162-0 every freaking year. You know, yeah, I'm gonna sit there and get whiny about something right there, but because he sticks with guys too long right there. But it's a whole process. It's a long ass season. It's a process of things that has to be done, and they have to work through everything. Next man up. We can use all the cliches. Coach Barakoff's getting ready to start basketball season. The same thing. It's a process this entire season. Health of players, you know, illnesses, things out of your control always come into play, which you don't plan on because you can't. Things you can't worry about, you know, injuries, you know, illnesses, stuff like that you have no plan for. You just have to work around, and I think he's great at that. Like I said, that's a great trait to have, and I'm glad he's our manager.
Yeah. Hey, we have a super chat, $5 here for Vesia from G. Varghese. Thank you so much. For Vesia and Kirsch, Yoshi, Klein, Miggy Rowe, and Freddie are legends. Dodger Blue. Austin, I think the guy that typifies the toughness that we're talking about, that got the Dodgers, let's make no mistake about it, okay? It wasn't the starting pitching. It wasn't the bullpen. It wasn't the offense. It was just the grit, the determination, just the ability just to continue to keep going forward and keep playing and being tough, mentally tough is what got the Dodgers through the finish line. The guy that typifies that the most, Will Smith. He breaks his hand, right? He comes in with a broken hand. We don't even know if he's going to be able to play. He catches all 18 innings in the 18-inning game. He catches every inning of the World Series and hits a freaking home run to win the World Series, right? So I think Will Smith is, if you need to know just an example of how mentally tough this team is, physically, Will Smith is it. What a performance by him. More innings caught by any catcher ever in a World Series. Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think you mentioned that because I think this is going to be something that's going to be perhaps completely forgotten about this postseason, is that Will Smith did not start off the postseason as the Dodgers catcher. It was Ben Rortvedt that was the Dodgers catcher for the first two rounds of the playoffs. It was only until the Dodgers were able to get to the Brewers and towards the end of that Philly series that we got to see more of Will Smith as part of this rotation, as part of this group. But he stepped up in massive ways. Game 2 of the World Series, he was the one that broke the door open, that led to the Dodgers being able to take at least one in Toronto. If he doesn't hit that home run, the Toronto, there's a good chance, takes that game because there was a tied game at that point. They take all the momentum in the series and they go into Los Angeles feeling really good. And during the game today, I mean, how unbelievable was he being able to hit that home run in extra innings after the Dodgers in the 10th inning were not able to scratch out a run despite having the bases loaded and one off, and despite Miguel Rojas and Shohei Ohtani getting two fairly quick outs to start off the 11th inning. Will Smith hits that home run, and I think we're at a little bit of a loss for words, but I think it's important for us to be able to recognize just how blessed we are as Dodgers fans. This is an incredible run by a franchise. We had the privilege and honor of being able to watch the entirety of the career of Clayton Kershaw, ultimately culminating in a World Series championship tonight. They did it for Clayton Kershaw, as the Super Chat mentioned. They did it for Alex Vesia, who continues to be in our thoughts and prayers for whatever is going on in that situation. Continue to be there for him. They did this for the city of Los Angeles, who has been through a lot, through everything over the past several years, and especially with all the fires and stuff that they had to go through. They did it for all the guys that have been fighting for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They won back-to-back World Series championships for an organization. This is the grit that Will Smith showed is a mentality that this entire organization has, and I think that is something that we are so incredibly proud of. It's a blessing with what we are watching and what we are witnessing right now with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
No doubt. We have another $5 super chat. Coach Tony, Casey, Austin, best show. Love y'all from Bruce Davis. We love you too, Bruce. Absolutely awesome. Hey, Coach Barakoff, you put together this roster. It's a roster that's meant to create a dynasty, which everybody else is pissed off about. Too bad for them. And so far, that's happened. How big of a deal is that actually the dynasty that you're building is coming to fruition? Because you stated very clearly last night, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, this season is a failure. That's the kind of pressure you have on you when you're supposed to be able to build a dynasty. And lo and behold, they're doing it.
Yeah, and this will be my last statement of the night because I'm going to go watch this locker room celebration. I've got early practice tomorrow. We got a game on Monday, Thursday, Sunday. So, listen, it would have been a failure if the Dodgers didn't win, and it breaks my heart to say that because they've put a lot of money into this. They've got a lot of superstars. They did not perform well this year, but somehow, like we talked about last night, they got to a Game 7, and anything could happen in Game 7, and it sure did. Anything could happen, and it did tonight. I'm just more happy for Clayton Kershaw and Vesia and Dave Roberts because Dave Roberts gets a lot of grief about being the manager, but that's what comes with being the manager of the Dodgers. But I think Tony, you, Austin, Casey, you guys do a great job, Dodgers Daily. It's an honor to be a part of this. We've got a lot of fans out there that you guys don't even know about that talk to me about this. And I don't think any of them are watching tonight, but to the University of Portland baseball guys, I told you we were going to win this thing.
See ya, Coach B.
I love baseball players. You know that. That's our boys.
Yeah, go get them, guys. Go Dodgers. Back-to-back world champions. And you know what? Let's go get 3.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Coach B leaves the house. Attaboy. Attaboy, Coach B.
Anyway, drop the mic, baby.
That was a drop the mic. Hey, we have another $10 super chat from Bob Student 10. Thank you, Casey Austin and coaches, for bringing your knowledge. Enjoy this season. We have a $19.99 from Chuck Huddleston. You Dodgers dogs, it never ceases to amaze me the wonderful support that we get on this channel. This is the best chat in the world. Not the biggest, but the absolute best. I can't tell you how much I enjoy this. Coach, the Toronto bullpen had Alex Vesia as number 15 on their hats. Ernie Clement, absolutely incredible. Vlad Guerrero Jr., absolutely incredible. Incredible organization there for Toronto. Hey, their fans kind of got to me last night. Fine. Everybody has that set of fans. I shouldn't let it. I was emotional, period, last night. I was just fired up to begin with. That's fine. We're allowed that every now and then in the World Series, right? But what a classy outfit those Toronto Blue Jays are. You love it that the Dodgers won, but there's a certain human side of you, other than the fact that George Springer's on their team. But there is a certain side of you that feels for a team that put into it as much as Toronto did.
Yeah, like I told you before, my nephew Grant has been a lifelong Blue Jay fan. I texted him today, hey, if it's not us, I'm glad it's going to be you. And I really felt that way. I sent him a video of Kike talking about when he got struck out last night. Babbitt struck him out, whatever his name is, and then he looked up watched it on the replay, and he sees a 51 on his hat. How classy is that by the Toronto relievers to do what they did? Their manager, like you said, Clement, 30 base hits in the freaking playoffs?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But this is a tremendous team. I even like George Springer better because he's 36 years old now, and he's playing through injury, and he's hitting a freaking baseball with probably, I don't know what he's got. We'll probably find out he's got a torn rib cage or some crap, but he's still in there swinging a bat, and they hit their guys that were injured getting stuff done. How about Bichette, with a bad knee? Hell, he smokes the ball. What a gamer. I love their
Coach,
team.
You got to say George Springer's a gamer, man. That dude,
there ain't no doubt about it. George Springer
player.
is a great player. When the lights are the brightest, he shines bright. Bichette, just look up. How about Vlad in the last inning there?
Well, how about the rookie Savage? How about you, Savage?
Jeez.
He's low A ball. He started out in low A ball.
Yeah, come on, man. He started out in Rancho, the equivalent of Rancho, right?
It's unbelievable. Great manager. We love Don Mattingly. I hate it that he didn't get his ring over there. We love Donnie Baseball because he was a Dodger manager for a while. Just a tremendous organization, first-class organization. And like I said, I feel bad for them, but I want the Dodgers to beat them, obviously, because I'm a Dodger. But you're right, Case. As a purist, as a baseball purist, I think me and you and Austin all love the game of baseball. We love the Dodgers more, but we love the game of baseball. You hurt for those guys because they really looked like they had it. The Dodgers.
Well, I've been there. We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Brett Koba beat our ass, and it just was like, oh, my God. It was devastating.
It's devastating until you wake up the next day and don't know if the sun's going to come up, but it does. Yeah. What a great showing out there. And there's no you don't get prizes for second place in the professional sports or any sport. Actually, you shouldn't. First place. My dad always said they don't take pictures of second place teams, and we laughed about it. But I knew exactly what the hell he was talking about when I started coaching. You don't shoot for second. You work to be the best. But what a great organization and a great team. You look at their batting averages, Case, up and down, 300, 400, all that. And these guys,
and they rose to the occasion, Coach. Toronto rose to the occasion in every which way they could have.
They got big home runs. I was sitting there pissing them on again. We had 3 solos tonight. Great, one of them ended up winning the game for us, but they're getting all these home runs with runners on. So I'm sitting there pissing them on him. They're getting key hits. Their bullpen did well. They're pitched well. They're managed well. It's just this was a great series because it took everything the Dodgers had to win this stinking thing. And just think about it. We win the 18-inning game in L.A. They win the next 2 in L.A. It looks like they've got the series. Everybody, oh, shit, it's 3-2. They just won 2 in L.A. So what do the Dodgers do? They go to Toronto and win 2. That's a sign of a champion. Both of these teams are champions, whether you believe it or not. Unfortunately, Toronto is not going to get a trophy or a ring for it. But in my mind, that's a championship ball club in a championship city. Never been there. I'd like to go sometime.
It absolutely is. Austin, give us a quick synopsis from an analytical perspective. Exactly how did the Dodgers? I'm still so as a baseball, we talk about analytics versus baseball decisions. Just my baseball brain, just watching it with my own eyes, I have no idea how the Dodgers won this series. I have no idea. I've been in this game for I'm on my 6th decade of baseball, and I love this game. I'm obsessed with it. I watch probably 600-700 games a year. You know that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, and not just watch them, I like dive deep into them and analyze them and just, I love every aspect. I'm addicted to it. And with all of that experience, with my baseball experience, I have no idea how the Dodgers won this game. So analytically, exactly how did this happen?
And the analytics and the numbers and stuff are confusing with this series too, because we previewed this series pretty in depth, and some of the things that we talked about with Toronto, they went the way of the Toronto Blue Jays. I talked specifically about some of the players that were overperforming for the Blue Jays, guys like Ernie Clement, guys like Addison Barger, guys like Dalton Varsho, and especially for Barger and for Clement, they stepped up and rose to the occasion for the Blue Jays. So they had some of the production that they were hoping to continue in the postseason. So that didn't go the Dodgers' way. That wasn't the explanation of why they won the series. For the Dodgers and what they were able to do in this series, it's very difficult to pinpoint the exact answer. But I think they were able to get just enough with some of their starting pitching. They were able to keep them just enough in some of these games, and they were able to get some they were able to make some of the plays in the biggest moments, and some of the best breaks that they could get went some of the Dodgers' way. And sometimes that's all that you can really explain it to at this point. The ball getting lodged in the wall during the Game 6 and
Justin Dean knowing to do this.
Justin Dean and Kike Hernandez. I think there was a comment. Kike Hernandez, I think, might have been the first one to be able to do that, but both of them put up their hands immediately. That was a play so unlikely, so against the odds of that play actually happening. And then for, as it was mentioned earlier in the show, Miggy Rowe to be able to make that pick on that throw by Kike Hernandez from left field in Game 6, completely unbelievable. The performances in Game 3 of the World Series, completely unbelievable. And then what happened during the game tonight? I mean, we keep talking about it, but there's so many moments that were unlikely to happen, which I think made this series so fascinating and so fun. It was the unpredictability-ness of where things were at. And I think the Dodgers were able to hit for just enough power in Game 7 at just the right moment to where they were able to overcome all of the flaws, all of the things that went wrong in this series. It's going to be a fascinating deep dive that we're going to have to do to just truly understand the numbers. But right now it's a state of shock that they were able to pull through.
It absolutely is, Coach. And I just gave Bruce, by the way, you just became a moderator. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Gregory, that is an absolutely, I don't even know why I didn't do that earlier. I should have given Bruce a moderator wrench a long time ago. Yeah. We have another $10 super chat from Tark the Shark. Tark, you were awesome. Thanks to Casey Austin, Coach Holt, for a great year. I was upset at the trade deadline by the lack of trades, but it turned out great. This is the best Dodger show on YouTube. Thank you so much, Tark the Shark. And, Coach, Was this a frustrating season? Was this a frustrating series? Or was it exciting because it was so hard? So, I mean, is this, are you more excited or are you more kind of relieved now, damn, that was hard? I mean, is there any kind of just relief to this?
I think I answered yes to every question you just threw out there. It was a frustrating season. It's a frustrating series.
But does that make it even better?
No, it's even better.
Yeah.
I think I'm sitting there thinking after we won, before we went on, I'm just thinking, and I think one of you guys sent a text, might have been Austin, never underestimate the heart of a champion. I think it's we can keep it that simple at some point. The Dodgers are champions until somebody else wins the damn thing. So, but no, it's frustrating. I think the regular season from about late May on, the Dodgers, didn't hit well. I'm not talking about injuries and stuff. That crap happens, but then some players underperforming, as the season went on. But we even talked about it then. They still won the division, barely, but they still won the division, even though. So I think you look back at how good this team actually is, personnel-wise, to still win when you can't hit worth a damn. Here's the other part, Casey. A team that don't hit well, you're always going to – it's pretty simple to go, well, they don't hit very good, but, man, they pitch and play defense well. I think that's a big key with the Dodgers. You played on a state championship team that wasn't a great hitting team, but we could damn sure pitch and play defense and got timely hits. I think that's what you saw here. So the Dodgers were able – the starting pitching was so good to the last part of the year and all the way up to the World Series. Then the bullpen became a factor in the World Series because you were able to put, Sheehan, Robleski, and some of those other guys back down the pen to help you out. And so it was just a combination of things. But again, I'll answer yes to everything you just said. Frustration all the way through. But we wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
No.
It's World Series or bust for the Dodgers. We know that. That's organization top on down. That's not Tony, Casey, and Austin saying it. That's from the top of the organization on down. So that's what you want. So there's some frustration there because it didn't, like you said, Case, the word you used, presentation. The presentation didn't look good a lot of times. You're just like, God dang, I don't know. We get in here, then we get in the World Series, Toronto's hotter than hell. You're going, there's no way in hell we can beat these guys. They're playing better than us. I really felt they were the better team before we got back to Toronto.
They outplayed the Dodgers in every way you could, except for the final scoreboard.
And that's really the heart of the champion.
That's literally the only way that they didn't outplay the Dodgers, which is why this is so incredible.
That's the heart of the champion. Don't ever take it for granted. Yeah,
man, and you got to give, especially early in the game, some of the defensive plays that Toronto was making, the diving catch by Dalton Varsho, the diving catch by Vlad Jr. to be able to take away some of the momentum for the Dodgers as an offense as they were trying to grind back into this game. They were unbelievable. But I want to make a little bit of a point that Tark the Shark that was making with that, because he made a very clear point, and I think it goes along with this. With the Dodgers, it wasn't just that their offense was not clicking, which it certainly was not clicking during the course of the World Series, and their bullpen was not clicking through the course of the playoffs and at the end of the season. But he also mentions the trade deadline. The trade deadline, and as far as the acquisitions that they were able to get, they got Alex Call, pretty decent depth option, but not a game changer. And then they got Brock Stewart as their main relief option. He pitched a couple of innings, but is out with an injury, so they didn't get much at the trade deadline.
Didn't work out either.
And that was the point that I'm about to mention. This is based off of research that will be coming out at some point through the offseason. The Dodgers had their worst offseason of the Andrew Friedman era as far as underperforming per dollar that they spent this offseason. And despite having the worst offseason that they've had under the Andrew Friedman era, despite having a trade deadline with negligent improvements to this roster, and despite having an offense that could barely score and a bullpen that could barely pitch, they still were able to find a way to win this World Series. Unbelievable. It's in complete shock. I can't thank you, the people in the chat, the people that tune into the show. You guys are unbelievable. Tark the Shark. And I think there was another super chat that we just got right after this too.
Jeff Roll. Yeah, unbelievable World Series. $10. Thank you so much, Jeff. Best ever, in my opinion. 3 wins on the road. Don't think that has ever happened before. The grittiness, and I think you win on the road by pitching too. I think that's a big part of it. I got to say this, Coach. Mookie Betts didn't hit the ball worth a shit. He had the big hit in Game 6. I love that. That was absolutely awesome. Beyond that, he didn't hit the ball at all. He will be the first one to tell you that. I got to say, though, He grinded some big-ass walks, man. It wasn't so. I mean, just because he didn't get hits doesn't mean he didn't have some damn good at-bats. Without those damn good at-bats, I don't think the Dodgers win for Mookie Betts.
Well, he's a Hall of Fame player. He gives you Hall of Fame at-bats, even when he's not hitting well. He played great shortstop. I think Derek Jeter told him that last night. Quit talking about how you suck. You've been playing great shortstop. I think Jeter told him on the air, there's a lot of ways to help your team without hitting. You don't have to hit to help your team. You're doing great things at shortstop, like you mentioned, some really good at-bats to grind it out, to get on there. He's a Hall of Fame player, and even when things aren't going well for him, he's able to do that. Same way with Freddie. Freddie wasn't as good as we've seen Freddie in the past, but he gets a home run, to win a freaking all-night-long game, and he does all the things, makes how many pickups he make at first base on shitty throws.
Yeah.
I mean,
how about the one tonight on the bunt?
Yes.
If Freddie doesn't pick up that one for that Yamamoto threw, that game's over.
Throw. Yep, you're right. It was a terrible throw.
Yeah.
And he's had several of those. So there's so many ways these Hall of Famers, when they're, a lot of people see it's like a basketball player. If it's not going in the hole, you think they're playing like shit. They might have 12 rebounds and 10 assists, but it's not scoring points. So you think they're playing bad. It's kind of the same thing here. That's not necessarily always the case. And, we've got those guys, and that's how you win. We talked about pitching, defense, your clubhouse, your leadership. Also, we just confirmed what we said earlier in the show and what Coach Bearcoff said. We got a Hall of Fame manager.
We do.
I mean, to have a shitty offense
so
like that, and
we
all
officially
the
have
problems,
4 Hall of Famers.
Yes, to have the shitty offense like that, the way it ended up being,
and bullpen,
shitty as a whole, shitty as a bullpen, in the regular season, and to be able to win the World Series. Damn, we got the hell of a manager. That's a Hall of Fame manager. Now he's got 3 championships, and there's nothing that says he can't have some more. So, we're always looking, like Coach Bearcoff said, let's go for 3 in a row. What the hell? That I don't know if that's ever happened. I guess the Yankees might have done that back in I think back in the 70s, Yankees did that, but who cares? It's tonight, but we got great manager. You got great, the culture on the team's amazing, or they don't win these 2 games in Toronto. No way in the heck they win them.
100%, no doubt about that. And hey, here's the thing. I mean, was every decision correct? No, I just went over 2 that I disagreed with. I thought he should have left Yamamoto in an extra inning last night. I think he should have pulled Shohei Ohtani earlier. So was every decision perfect? Absolutely not. Did he stay with Andy Paez too long? Probably, yes. But the way that he was able to use his entire roster was just one of the most impressive jobs of managing I have ever seen. The way that he got the meat off of the bone, every bit of meat off the bone, the way he did, though, Austin. But I've said this many times. I said this last year. The Dodgers are just going to continue to get better. Now they're getting a little bit older, but they're going to continue to add pieces to the roster as they go. So it's one of those, hey, you better get them now. Like you needed to get them last year, you need to get them this year, because they're getting ready to go shore up a couple more holes next year, and they're likely to be an even better team on paper moving forward. That's exciting too, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a prep for offseason, which, by the way, first preview of what's going to happen with the offseason show is coming at 2:15 Pacific on Monday, followed by a part 2 Tuesday evening, I think 6 o'clock Pacific. We're going to be starting to reveal some of the work that we've been doing behind the scenes in preparation for the offseason. The building blocks of this team is still very much there going into next season, to where they just need a couple of key additions to be able to help make this roster a little bit more complete. And
we have 2 minutes left. We have 2 minutes left. We're getting off in 2 minutes.
Yes, and I think that's what's scary for the entire league is this team is built to continue to go out there and win championships. It's built to continue to go out there and win. And all of the pieces are there for them to continue to go out there and do this. But for now, celebrate 2025 because they earned it.
100%. Coach Holt, I'm going to give you final thoughts here. We have about a minute and a half.
Okay, last I'll just say, as I'm sitting here thinking, listen to you guys talk, every time you get these championship rings, there's always some guys that get the rings. You see them kind of sitting there like, well, hell, I didn't do anything. I think that's not going to be the case. This Dodger team will climb. I mean, go right down the damn list. Everybody contributed to this World Championship. When they get their freaking ring, they deserve it. They're a part of it, and they can be proud of what they did, and we're proud of them. Love our Dodgers. Love you guys. Love the Dodger Dogs.
Austin, anything else you want to say? We got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it is a I'll just reemphasize. It's a blessing to be a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are now World Series champions once again for the 9th time in franchise history. The Dodgers are on top of the world in the baseball world.
And the Dodgers have a chance to catch that 99, 2000, 2001 three-peat of the New York Yankees. Dodgers right there, Brooklyn Dodgers, 1955. Let me say this, too. I think you guys will back me up on this. We have worked our asses off this year to bring the best content that we possibly can, both in the minor leagues and the major leagues. And so I hope we got about 45 seconds. So this is going to be the final word here. I hope everybody appreciates the hard work that we put in, because we have put a lot of work out there to try to familiarize all you wonderful Dodgers dogs out there with everything about this system. So thank you so much for tuning in. Awesome shirt, Coach. Austin, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the job that you do. Thank you so much, Dodgers dogs. What a great year it's been. It is officially the offseason. Austin will kick that off on Monday, correct, Austin?
That is correct. The best is yet to come on Dodgers Daily.
It's a great day to be a Dodger.